And welcome everybody to Power WBSR 1360. That's coming echoing from there. Anyway, here is some feedback over there. It's bouncing off that way. So while we're having some technical difficulty, we're just going to go forward. Here with me is Kashim, as you can see him in the screen.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, Warren Bloom from the Bloom Report is here.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, we have also from the team Hard Rock Hamilton from SCW here.
What's going on?
All right, so far most of the team is here. Well, we just gonna keep going until you make an adjustment, whatever you need to do. But there is a bounce off echo. Maybe I need to move up or something.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You don't know sound.
I don't.
Actually,
All right, and that's why I have a powerful team. Of course, we have Jerry Wilson here with the team, and it's a beautiful afternoon here after 7. Wonderful in Philadelphia, almost 70 degrees. We're going to, get right to the show, and we'll also give a shout out to the other team if they're listening on Facebook Live or on PhillyFunkRadio.com or on FPNWVSR.org. Okay, we have all these ways of getting the communication to come out to our Philadelphians, our Black Philadelphians, of course. Let's see. Antoinette's not here, but we're going to shout out to Antoinette. She's not here. She may call in if she wants to call in. She can call in. David Anthony's not here at the moment. If he wants to call in, he can call in. Janet Daly's not here. She wants to call in. So we're here just really trying to cheer you guys up before we really get serious. We know that we're dealing with the COVID-19 situation, and I'm just going to give you a couple of updates. I'm going to give you the negative updates first, and then I will reverse it. I'll give you the bad news. So the bad news is, unfortunately, with the black community, nationwide, it is really a frightening situation. The death rate dealing with the COVID-19 is extremely high across the country. And the sad part is that although the population density is low with the Black American community in the urban community in the big cities, the high rate of deaths is 50% of Black Americans. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about this and try to figure this out as to why is this happening. So far, in the streets, boots on the ground, we know that for the most part, we have about 90% of the Black Americans across the nations are actually obeying the stay at home. They're going out just based on necessities, essentials, and they're going in. So somewhere, for some reason, due to the travel situation, that means that there's more traveling that actually has been going on than we realize in the Black American community. So due to the travel, the virus and infection has spread it from person to person. So the distancing, the practicing washing your hands, all of these things, even trying to get a hold of the mask, has been practiced highly in the Black American community, and yet we are falling quickly by the wayside. So that's the downside. Well, the upside is that although financially it's hard to get a hold of the mask, we at Van Stone Productions, we're volunteering with our whole radio team to try to get certain things out. So we have the Van Stone face mask. If you missed the show earlier this week, I came up with a concept of how to protect yourself with the Van Stone face mask. You pretty much can make it yourself. Then we have the other mask, that designer mask by Antoinette, where that may cost 50 cents or something like that, where you can, get a hold of that. And then we have to turn to the other part that's important, which is the touching. So we need to increase this. We need to start wearing gloves. Okay? So the best gloves to get are the latex gloves. You know, those are the professional gloves. And the reason why is they're more durable, and that means they don't tear as quickly. But you can even get the gloves as far as food service gloves. Those are the cheapest type of gloves that a person can have. But if you have to get a hold of them, then you just double them. Okay? So the main thing is try not to be touching things, you know, when you're out in the public without your gloves on. So we're just adding that. So at this time, we're going to share with the team what's the report in their mind and what do we need to really talk about with this virus. So come on in, Kashim.
Just a heads up. If you are wearing gloves, and let's just take a baby for instance. You take some gloves, you change your diaper, you got your gloves on, and you use those same gloves and you grab the door handle. You use those same gloves that you grab that door handle with and the baby with, and you go and touch your nose. Cross-contamination. So yes, gloves are good if you're not touching everything and everyone. So you can wear gloves to protect yourself, but you're not wearing gloves so you can touch yourself. You're wearing gloves so you can touch everything else. And before you touch yourself, you remove your gloves. But wash your hands before you even do that. They consistently keep saying to just wash your hands, wash it. Like my hands is probably gray right now because I wash my hands so much. I don't even want lotion on them. I'm good. But please just sanitize your hands. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Warren, you're on. Warren.
Well,
Yeah, she's sitting there.
yes, wash your hands, people. I've ordered some stuff from Amazon, which is the foam antibacterial foam soap. It's convenient and it's pretty good. By the way, Dial soap. How many remember Dial soap? DAIO. Dial soap has always been, my brother reminded me, Van, an antibacterial soap. Oh, yeah. And it's so very affordable. So Dial is a good soap to use, and yes, it's the common sense things that make all this possible. There's a lot of conjecture with the gloves because some people think, if something gets on the glove, either way, you're carrying stuff. But I think in public, to show that you are being socially responsible, I do think you should wear gloves in the context, and like I'm wearing the mask right now because we are, for all intents and purposes, closer than 6 feet. That's right. So I'm joining the Van Stone wear your mask situation. So that's why I got my mask. And I do have gloves in the car. And so my gloves are in the car. I just didn't think about wearing them right now. But but I just want to welcome everybody to the Bloom Report as I'm joined with VSR and Van Stone and the crew here. My man Jerry Wilson, our IT guy and our technician. We just want to give a shout out to him because it's the behind the scenes people to make all this stuff possible. So thank y'all for tuning in and. Keep watching, and please tell some of your friends, to tune in, guys, while you're at it. Thank you.
Okay, so before we jump into the serious conversation, we got Hard Rock. Hard Rock, you have anything to let us know what's going on in California?
Hey, man, we're doing the same thing out here, man. Wash your hands, and one thing they keep stressing: stay inside, wash your hands, everything. My grandsons, they haven't been out the house until I took them out today. And we just went to McDonald's. They don't get out of the car or nothing. When we come in, they wash their hands. We wear the mask, and they stress stay inside. Stay inside. And you know what? You hit me in the head with a hammer. You don't have to hit me again because I'm a move. So yeah, do what you guys are doing. The fans out there and the listeners out there, you need to do exactly what you're told to do. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of health workers that put their lives on the line to help us out, and I think that we need to have a lot of consideration for them. So that's what I got to add to it.
All right. So now I'm going to get a little more deeper into this. So there's a lot of people who are really in panic right now. I mean, they're in panic to the point that they don't want to even come outside. What we're trying to do, because we're media, we want to give you the reality. There's so many rumors. There's so many hoax. There's so many things that's going on that's false. Just because your city is in a stay at home, that's only what that means. To stay at home, but not as if you are in prison. It's a total different situation, okay? But if you are not comfortable and you really are that afraid, it's okay. Then you may call on a loved one, a friend, someone, if you need to get what you need to get so that you can bring certain things that has to be done into your home. Okay, please do not stop going after all of your essentials. If you are taking medication, if you need other particular things, of course, more so than food, please continue to get those things, because then you're going to make yourself unnecessary sick. So the stay at home basically is that we don't really need large crowds. That's basically the point of that right now. Now, we know on news that the reports is getting out there that the deaths are increasing. The reason why that's happening is because the testing is now really getting more available. And when you do more testing, then along with those reports, as people are passing away, they have to announce those things. But so the numbers are going to go up as they discover who is infected. But the good news is that the country here, at least here in the United States, they are working as quickly as they can to get something. And at first, the report was, we know there's no cure. We know there's no vaccine, and we know that vaccine may only reach the country in a year. However, we have some positive updates here. There's such a thing with all of us are used to hearing about antibiotics. You know, like antibiotics, when you would have an ear infection, as an example. Usually you would get an antibiotic, you know. So this is something that I believe they're going to come up with quicker as a solution. And it's a simple process. You just get an injection, you know. And so meanwhile, that is supposed to really help reduce persons who are getting the virus, and it becomes fatal. So it depends on the individual. But in 5 days' time, depending on the person's health situation, it can really go drastic. So what they need to do, and they're working on, is getting the antibodies in. If they get that, where it can, you know, work for every human being, then we have something good to look forward to. Now, the other thing we need to pay attention to, all you pet lovers out there, it has come out factually that the virus can also infect an animal. So if you have pets and you're out there ignoring what we're supposed to do, which is have your distance. See, this is the key. If you're ignoring your distance and you're out walking your dog, and then this other dog is mixing in with other dogs, and they're out there in the park and they're building all these parks for these animals, that animal can get infected because another dog may have it, which means that their so-called family addition. You know, we know all this stuff has come out that animals are supposed to be an addition to the family. Well, again, and because people are just picking up and being followers, some of the things is just common sense things that you should not follow. So an animal is a pet. I mean, should you really take it to the level that an animal is an addition to your family, to the point that you're sleeping with your animals and you're doing all these things and your pets is all on your couch and everywhere? We know these are trends that in general, the poor, because you have been watching what the rich have been doing, or the wealthy, or the middle class. Now we come to find out that some of the things that you felt like you wish you had, or that you felt like you were not with everybody, Guess what? It's the best thing. Because now we have individuals who are getting sick from their pets. So the virus, it can really get to a human, and it can also get to an animal. So now you have to really be cautious on that and start really be mindful. Now, let's have a conversation. The pressure, okay? The pressure of the season of the religious holiday time. And people are just almost losing their minds because it's based on the fact that, especially this weekend, whatever it is, it's Easter or whatever your religion may call it, celebration, going into Ramadan, and then it's the Jewish celebration as well. Here, you have to start using common sense. And this virus is actually helping a person to really dig deep into your own mind and decide, can you be released from the control of someone else who's demanding that you need to be here, you need to be there, you need to do all these things religious-wise? Meanwhile, they may not be following the protocol to be safe, okay? So I wanted to get into a discussion with that a little bit because we have Warren Bloom. He's also a pastor and a minister here. But regardless of whether you are a pastor or not, we have atheists that also have the right to get into the same conversation. You know, so when it comes to these religious celebrations right now, people are they're coming together anyway, even though we need to have this separation. I just want to get you guys your thoughts on that. Starting with either Warren or Kashim, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, again, everybody needs to observe. You were right, Jerry, to where it was. Everybody needs to realize, of course, these are unusual circumstances in which we can, Jerry, watch what you're doing because you're about to knock my camera over. We like to use common sense. Again, somebody said, never let your spirituality supersede your common sense. I'm going to say that again. Never let your spirituality supersede your common sense. So that simply means if it's a fire up in here, I'm not going to pray, Lord, should we run? Common sense to tell you to exit the building because there's a fire. I think we need to realize that we can practice our worship and our worship ceremonies and rituals, in our own private home, in light of the fact that we want everybody to be safe. Everybody may not have the faith I have, so I'm not going to let my faith destroy my brother, the Bible teaches. So I'm not going to do it because it's too much for him. He can't understand that. So I'm encouraging people to please cooperate with your family and trying to let them know that you're not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but you think you want to practice being safe and what they call error on caution. It's best to err on caution, to be cautious about what you do. It's better to be safe than sorry, as they say. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Next Sunday is Easter. And for the religious and the Christian world, of course, this is our high celebration when we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But I don't think we're going to have a service other than streaming. And we've been streaming now for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So other than streaming, I think that's what we're going to have to do. And my phone is probably still on, but it just showed that I just had a phone call. So I still should be taping anyway. But anyway, that's what I would suggest. I'd like to say hello to my friends also in California and San Diego. They said it's raining out there now. Is it still raining out there? Hard Rock? Was it raining? Was it raining in L.A.? Hard Rock?
Yes, well, I'm out in Thousand Oaks, so I'm, Ventura County. It's raining out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my cousin, I spoke with him earlier today. He told me it was He was rain. It was raining where he is. He's in San Diego, but
Okay.
yes, we're all doing the same thing. Of course, we're up to now 3,000 at least people who has the virus, and that number tripled almost in 1 week. That was the astounding thing, because last week I reported it, or the health commissioner Farley had reported at that time there were only 635, and within 7 days the number had grown to pass 3,000.
Okay.
Of course, New York is a lot worse. I actually had to leave there. Well, I didn't leave there for that. I actually left to come see my family because they kept calling me talking about corona.
That was a good thing, yeah.
I felt like I was going to catch it. But as far as the religious holidays and everything that's going on, streaming is probably the best option right now. I think we're getting a lot of things done in this world by actually using the technology that we have in front of us the right way. So I think a lot of the things that are being changed or being moved or maneuvered with this change right now, I think we're going to keep these type of things consistent because these things matter. Because we know a lot of people do get sick around this time because of the flu in general.
Anyway, yeah.
And a lot of people should stay away from each other during this time as well. So I think a lot of these things will open up each other's eyes as how we take care of ourselves and how we take care of each other.
Right. So I'm bringing this up because this is an opportunity for people to have a stronger free mind. I brought it up because you may have people who have just been overboard, disrespectful, controlling when it comes to the religious organization, judgmental, and sometimes people, regardless whether they are 18 to 80 or over, they have their own systems in play. They may text daily religious quotes. They may call you and want to know where you've been. They want you to answer to certain things and questions concerning do you pray and all these different things. This virus is something that is unique that has happened right now. It has exposed a lot of fraudulent predictions. By now, you have people who've said the world was going to come to the end. And they have tried to use all kind of means and excuses to control you and say, see, the virus, so for so on, all these people are dying, But at the same time, here's the thing. Who are the people that you can depend on most right now? So if you have individuals who are trying to control you, this is a chance for you to release yourself from their spiritual control. If they were so sure, if they knew what God was actually saying to them, and many of them talk this way, I got to wait until God tell me what to do. Meanwhile, you don't do this, you don't do that. They question your motive. They question everything you do. They question your gender. They question your love interest. They question everything. And the question is not just a question, but it's about being in control. But here's the thing. So right now, lives are at stake. People are dying. And ask yourself, when you go to reach out to call that person, that pastor, that reverend, that whatever title they give themselves, have you heard from them? Now, here's what's going on. I can give you this report. So we're boots on the ground, we're front line, and we're out there. We're in the streets. And we've been doing this for a long time. We care about people, so we just go and we take that chance and do what we got to do. Many of the people who have called me, Van, how can we get some help? We don't know what to do. We need answers. And the first thing I asked them, well, you're that type of person that you've been telling me you've been going faithfully to church and the congregation or to the mosque or to the synagogue, So where are these individuals who've been trying to control you all the time? Well, they've been looking for you to deliver your money. They're looking for you to show up. They've been knocking on your door to make sure they can get into your home to see what you're doing. They've been judging you on your companions and your relationship and everything else. So where are these people at? So mostly the answers are that they can't find them. So when they're calling these people, they're not available. They're not answering the phone. So what it's supposed to be that they're supposed to have a count of every individual that belongs to them. They should have been calling around. They should have been checking on people. But so this is a chance for you, if you are a spiritual person, to wake up a little bit. Have some common sense, like Warren Bloom said. Think of yourself and release yourself from the control of the people, because this is an opportunity for you to see what these people are about, because they're not available now. And where are they? They're shut in. They're afraid. But yet all this time they're telling you about believe in God and whatever they want to call God, Jehovah, Allah, okay, and whatever other names that they may refer to God. Some say Jesus. But where are these people then? So now when there's a real crisis, you can't find these people. If you notice that, so if you're a Jehovah's Witness, then so where's the people that you can go to the Kingdom Hall? So everything is shut down. And if you're a Muslim, so where's the people at the mosque so that you can go there? And where are the Catholics? And where are the other people, the Jewish people? Where are they? Where are these leaders who all this time you can't even think for yourself every day? They've been trying to control you, and now here's a real situation that they have been preaching to you about, and you cannot find them. That's an opportunity for you to really think about, maybe I can really release myself. Meanwhile, who's out in the forefront? Who's out there risking their lives? Who's actually dying? The nurses. And that's the point. So the nurses are out there. They are everywhere. They don't have the things that they need to have. They are suffering, and they're still out there, and they're getting sick. And we don't have enough things to give them to support them to be where they need to be. And yet, all of these so-called ministers, why aren't you down at the hospital? You see, when you have the people who are nurses, they take an oath. It's called the nurse's oath. They don't think about any of that other stuff. But since we have all these professional people who are religious people, they got skills in nursing. Some of them are doctors. And right now, this is a desperate time in our country that they're looking for volunteers. So why but since we have all these people who are Christians and Muslims, and they follow the Jewish belief and all these expectations, you have to walk around with your face covered. You have to have something over your head. You got to have your pants up a certain length, can't touch your ankles. You have to walk this way. You have to talk this way. You got to say this prayer. You got to do all these things. So why aren't these people at the hospitals right now? Why aren't they just going in there? Why aren't they just going in there and be available, as a substitute until some of the nurses can heal? Because all of the nurses are not dying, but they are getting sick and they have to go home, and then they got to come right back. So these are just some points that I wanted to bring out to the individual as we are, giving you the news and the media of what's happening. But at the same time, our Black Americans, you really need to hear this, because most of the time the wrong information comes from the religious realm, the churches, the mosque, the Jewish synagogue, and you just follow. At this time, if all of these leaders and these individuals who are sending you these texts and they're asking you, do you pray and all this kind of stuff, if they're not available to you, I guarantee you they're with their families and they don't want to die. But yet all this time they've been preaching to you about everybody's supposed to die. Everybody's supposed to die. That's supposed to be glory. So, I'm passing on to you, Kashim. I hear you talking, so go ahead. Well, it is what it is. We need to bring this out right now because this is a part of what we do.
Because of who I am, I'm a gay Black male. My religion's beliefs have been shunned, shut down, thrown out. I grew up a Christian, Jehovah's Witness, a Muslim, and every religion pushes me away. But I'm the first person they want them to take care of their wounds or to teach their child dance. So I think on this earth we all are used. And sometimes you have to play that superhero in your life and figure out how do you want to be used. Would you let religion use you? Do you let love use you? Do you let career, life, money use you? And I think that certain people take everything into consideration and nothing with a grain of salt. It's hard for people, I guess, especially right now with this corona thing going on. Nobody knows who to trust. No, nobody knows who to trust. Nobody knows who's in their corner. So I think I agree with you when you say, where are the pastors? Where are these leaders? Because these leaders on Easter Sunday, instead of worrying about your church being filled and getting money in your pocket, you should take you and your congregation to the next hospital or the next 3 hospitals, and y'all spread out in there and y'all cover yourselves up from head to toe, and you go worship. You go sing hymns in the hospital. You go uplift people. Nobody does that. But you want me to come to church? My mom curses me out all the time. Curses me out, mind you. Curses me out. You should go to church. You're not living right. No. But this is what they tell us. You're not living right because you're not here. But we don't see you doing what you exactly say you're supposed to be doing either. Now, I see you servicing your congregation. That's great. That's awesome. But even in your own congregation, pastors walk away with $100,000 cars, and half of the people in their congregation can't afford a car. So if that pastor would have gave each of those members $300,000 to $400,000 themselves, everybody in their congregation would have a car. Now, what do you want it to look like? You want to look like you have money? You want to look like the congregation has money, or the people that's serving you? Mind you, you're not serving them technically. They're serving you. You're serving someone else. So I think I agree with you, but it's a lot of fault in just how we was raised. So I try not to hold who I am against people when they don't understand me. So even in times like this, I'm trying not to hold I'm not trying to hold these things against the people who hold those things against me.
All right, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, you got anything to say about that? While we slide into another topic, but go ahead and throw your point in if you want.
No. You know what? To each his own. I'm not going to get into that because not that I'm afraid to, but because trust me. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that what you're saying, or what everybody's saying, is true. I mean, I don't see no past. I mean, turn on the TV, I see Osteen and T.D. Jakes on TV, but I don't see nobody at the hospital but the doctors. I don't see nobody at the hospital but the nurses. I don't see nobody dying but the first response unit, the police officers, the firemen. So I'm, and you're absolutely right. Everybody's talking about God and Jesus and all this here, but those people that are talking, the only time they talk is when it's fair weather outside. And my grandmother used to always say, "There's fair weather friends." So that's all I'm gonna say about it. But I do agree with what you guys are saying. I really do. Because the only people I see dying, I don't see no pastors that are passing away at these hospitals. I only see these strong people that are on the front line, like they would be in Vietnam. And they're all falling by the wayside. A lot of them are falling by the wayside, and they're giving up. They're leaving their families behind, and their daughters and their sons and their wives and their husbands, and they're dying for us. I don't see no religious people out there. I leave it like that.
That's right. Powerful. So before we switch to the next point, you got something to add, Born Blue?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to put our faith, in the works. Faith without works is dead. So if you're claiming you got faith without works, you're just they call it a tinkling cymbal, a loud cymbal, and tinkling, brass. So we need to put our faith in action and do the work. Of course, they're asking now if you are a health care professional, and if you can volunteer your time, please do so. I am a caregiver for my mother, who's 90 years old. And of course, we're doing everything we can to keep her safe. So she has not been to church in the last 3 weeks. She will not be going to church anytime soon or anywhere else. So please, people, those of you who can give of yourselves and who's willing to put yourselves out there, to help these people. And last but not least, I'm telling everybody, if you're being serviced by these individuals who are putting themselves on the line, for instance, if you're going to the store and I'm getting service from McDonald's, I'm tipping the people. The people who bring me my food, from Boston Market, these people are still putting their lives on the line. If you're being serviced, tip these people, y'all. You'll be doing something good. You'll be giving, and you'll be sowing a seed, and you'll get it back. But let's really show the people who are putting themselves first and out there on the line for us like now. Let's show them as much support and love and prayers as we can show them.
All right, so we're here with Talk Live with Van Stone. It is 7:45. We have about 15 more minutes to the show. Of course, this is WVSR, and we're here with Philly Funk Radio. We're also with AKA Studios, all the way from New York. Brooklyn in the house. Is that right? Okay, great. So we have my son here, Kashim is here. He's come down to Philly, and escaped through all of the muck and so forth, that's going on. I mean, man, he had to figure out how to get here because, it's like you do. You like that movie, you have to escape from New York just to get
Hold on.
through.
Hold on, wait. I just want everybody to know, New York is not shut down. Things is just like every other city. Buses is moving.
It just has a more dense population.
Yeah, it's because there's a lot more people, so a lot more people is dying. That's unfortunate, but I just want to keep everybody in mind that their numbers in their cities and their states will go up as well. Yes, New York might be the highest, and it probably will remain the highest, but I just want everybody to be cautious and stay alert that, it's going to get bad. Wow. But I got out.
I know. So he's torn. So Kashim, the education man, he's torn between two loves. He's originally a native Philadelphian, and now he's New York too, all the way 100. So, but we got him back here for this. Now we're gonna turn it up to all the positive stuff you need to hear. So we have Warren Bloom here as well. A musician, so we're going to bring it all up now at the closing part just so you guys can say, okay, what can we hear that's really fun and exciting? We hear people saying, we need something to do. Well, we have a lot for you to do besides you staying healthy, going for walks and things like that. We are also doing our program still where we can have it for the youth and adults, okay? So we have the musician piece from Warren Bloom. He's a professional percussionist. I'm saying that correct. And we also have Kashim, not only just education, but he also does the dance profession. And we're swinging it right back over to all you guys who can't move around as fast, but you can move a little bit here or there. You can grab a person the right way, a certain way. And we're talking about professional wrestling here. Now, so we have the joy of having Hard Rock Hamilton with us, which is like great, bring you back to your little kid. And I wanted to say something to Hard Rock. I always do surprise announcements. So Hard Rock, 21 years ago is when I did the promotion here in Philadelphia where you brought joy. We did the all-black leadership wrestling entity at the West Philadelphia High School. And some of the people may get a chance to see where there was a taping of part of it. And on that taping, I had my professional situation of doing some acting. So I actually found that portion of me doing the part of the intro, the fun part of talking about the wrestling, and also the introduction to the event where we had the professional rapper Eddie D who actually did the performance. So we're going to put that together just for you, Hard Rock, and we're going to have that put up YouTube. Go ahead.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, well,
I'm looking forward to it.
we'll bring back in some more of this fun thought process of what it was like 21 years ago to now.
Well, you know what? This is, I'm 21 years ago, and all the thing I remember is entertaining the children, and that's what we're about. And so people say, professional wrestling. A lot of people frown at it because there's a lot of violence and things out here now. But let me tell you something. I created Soul City Wrestling because there's a lot of African American kids that were interested and still are interested, and we didn't get a big push as far as the pro wrestlers that were out there. When I got trained by the Wild Samoan up in Allentown, I was trained by Alpha, and I had a sit down with Alpha, and I said, Pops. I called him Pops. Everybody called him Pops. I said, what do you think about a black man starting a professional wrestling company? I said, because we can change it. We can do the nonviolent thing. We can have entertainment for children where they can get into it and get involved. And that's what we did when we did this thing with Van. And to have the youth involved to where you don't have no blood, just chain wrestling. I had the parents come up to me after the show and say, Hard Rock, don't stop this. This is great family entertainment. I had one of the great wrestlers who was an advisor to me, and that was King Kong Bundy. God bless him. He just passed away not too long ago. And he said, Hard Rock, you got something going here. He said, don't let it go. And so what I'm saying is that we moved on and we actually extended Soul City Wrestling. We created Soul City Mentoring. And what we do there is we have the different programs, where the kids learn about math and they do the reading, the computers, and all of this and stuff. And we do different programs to get kids interested. And what they don't know is that when they come through the doors of Soul City, they think it's all about wrestling. But we surprise them and we take them in the back and we have the programs for them. And in order to participate in Soul City Wrestling, you have to be able to do a little bit of work in the classroom. And this is what we stress a lot, and not about the wrestling as much as the classroom. And you know what? We get a good turnout, And I think that if we can keep that positive thing going, I think that the parents will continue to back us in Soul City.
Well, that's powerful. But in the meantime, we got all these little guys. They're home. They're restless. They want to do something, and usually they want to do a little grabbing here and there. Now, so with SCW, Soul City Wrestling, I know and I remember that it's about the villain and the good guy, and it's always like a storyline, So, what else can the kids get, used to doing as they're going to continue to get involved with the SCW so they can have fun at home?
Well, but no, see, what you need to stress is that don't do what we do at home. I'm trained as a professional athlete, okay, to do what we do, because kids, you'll get hurt and you'll hurt yourself. That's called backyard wrestling, and that's not for the kids at home to do. What we stress at home is to listen to mom and dad. When you come to the shows, you can see the professional athlete perform. I can't sit here and say this is what we do because it's a business, okay? But what we try to do, Van, is we try to direct the business in the right way. You can't, not too long ago, there's a 14-year-old kid that went to jail for a whole lot of years because he broke his sister's neck or something like that. I mean, you can't, there's no way I'm going to sit here and say to grab each other, a villain or a bad guy, good guy. Everything we do in Soul City is for good guys. You understand? Hard Rock Hamilton is the defender of the youth of America. And the reason I am is because I grew up in 11 different children's homes. And I didn't play pro football to give back, to make enough money to give back the way I wanted to, so I created Soul City. And so my thing is the children are the future, but the children you have to listen to mom and dad. Do what mom and dad tell you to do. You want to watch professional wrestling, you sit down and watch it, but you can't perform that type of stuff on your little sister or your little brother, because what we do is serious. Most of the guys that I wrestle with are shoot fighters. Most of the guys that you see on TV wrestling for the other organizations, they had to go to the dojo in Japan. They were shoot fighters, collegiate style wrestling. So they are professionals. So, I mean, there's no way you can water this thing down, but you have to be taught the right way. And when I had my training center in South Philadelphia on Weckeco Avenue, I trained and I taught the kids, including mine, how to do it the right way.
Wow. That's important. I like what you said, that all the kids are good. Everybody's a good guy. And you still can have fun. Even being a good guy, you can try to excel and be the best among the best. And actually, it's just ongoing. So there's no end to your training. This part I do know, especially with wrestling. So, and it can be fun. And that's what the kids really need. They need to be busy so they can go online and they can watch some of the SCW events and have some fun and learn more about Hard Rock and the world heavyweight champion and professional wrestling.
Well, can I let me say something real quick, Van. If they go to the Linwood Skip Hamilton story and you go to the videos, you see a whole lot of Soul City wrestling. Just go to the videos, the Linwood Skip Hamilton story, and you go to the videos and you'll see what we do at Soul City.
All right. Linwood Skip Hamilton story. So that's great. So as we're about to wrap up, it is now 7:57. We have about 3 more minutes left to the show. Of course, we just want to thank our team, just in case something jumps off and we start talking. Warren Bloom, thank you for being here. Kashim, Turpin.
You're welcome.
Education Man being here.
Thank you guys for tuning
Jerry
in.
Wilson, holding down on all the technology. Of course, we have Hard Rock Hamilton. We are here. We're just letting you know that if you can look for a positive in the situation, if you can, then do so. But then there are some things that are just so drastic and so bad that you don't want to hear that from someone. And we have your back on that. We are part of the first line, the front lines. We're actually risking our lives here, and we're doing our best to do the social distancing, but at the same time, we're here because we know that you should get this media the best way that we can. And we also want to continue to encourage and commend our nurses who are doing the best that they can and just being so courageous and heroes. But then they also follow along with the food workers and those who work in the supermarkets as well. So if you're viewing or listening or get a chance to see the tape later on, we have not left you out. We know that what you do is serious. And when it comes to the income and it's just not fair. We're just hoping that good common sense will come into play, where maybe there will be a stimulus out for all those frontline individuals. And this also includes even teachers. Although the kids are not in front of the teachers, I just learned some other things, even from my son, Kashim, how still it's a frontline work. They are still dependent on the teachers to be there, to be accounted for, and responsible for the children to get whatever it is that they can get while they're taking their lessons and going through school. So as we're wrapping up here, this was a good show, a good opportunity here in Philadelphia. We're going to continue. We don't know exactly the next time we'll be on. That's due to technical difficulty, which I explained to everyone. But we're going to try to get something, hold it down, be consistent, where we'll have a set time. So watch out for the Hard Rock show. Hard Rock has his 10-minute segment. Watch out for Kashim Turpin on Facebook Live or YouTube. He has his segment. Watch out for the Bloom Report. That will be coming very soon with just a lot more information, direct, one-on-ones with individuals. And of course, Jerry Wilson Live on Facebook, where he basically does it almost every day. So that's the tune, 8 o'clock. We'll see you guys the next time.
Thank you, Hard Rock.